Hello everyone, I'm Alyssia. I'm the Senior Event Content Manager from Ecommerce Expo and Technology for Marketing. Welcome back to our speaker series where we get some speakers from the event to come on, talk a little bit about their work, what they're going to be speaking about at the show. And I'm very grateful because we're here with Yana today, who will introduce herself.
Hi everyone, thank you so much, Alyssia, for having me today. Obviously, my name is Yana, and I've been working in marketing for quite some time, almost 9, I think it's coming up to 10 years. I've been doing collaborations and brand marketing for the past couple of years, and currently I serve as EU Channel Partners Marketing Lead for Samsung Electronics, and I oversee data collaborations across the European region with our top retailers and expanding the customer experience with the partnerships.
Amazing. Thanks, Yana. So let's get straight into it, Yana. So you mentioned a little bit there about data collaboration between brands and retailers. What does this mean kind of in plain English? How would you explain it to kind of I guess, a non-technical marketer?
So obviously, when we are talking about the collaboration or any synergy, we are talking about understanding the customer better and provide initially the most relevant experience and more exciting products and services and how we actually shape this customer journey. Retailers usually have incredible value of the customer insight. They know about the transactions and all of the sales data, but from the brand perspective, we understand better the behavioral and interest analysis, so how the customer browse or what they're scrolling, what apps they're using on their mobile smartphones. And when we are collaborating and combining this data, it allows us to look at the customers from both sides of this type of coin, and eventually it improves marketing effectiveness. We can have the personalization, have a better attribution of the sales, and ultimately improve customer experience.
And my next question was going to be about kind of why has this kind of data collaboration piece become so important to kind of senior marketers? But I guess it's that, right? It's that kind of, it improves personalization, et cetera, et cetera.
So obviously, yes, this is a huge chunk of the marketer's work. And obviously, we're talking about the new shift. Data is becoming a new gold. We are moving to the cookieless world where we can't use anything from our website browsing because people still want to have their privacy in place. And data collaboration, specifically in the secure environment, for example, data clean room, it gives this GDPR-compliant way on how we can manage the data, how we can find the right segments, improve the same experience, and eventually how we can prove to the business that digital marketing actually driving sales. Because in the data clean room, we can have a clear attribution model where we can know exactly how many sales actually were generated by the audience which we targeted. And I think this is why we need to leverage the data clean rooms and even the simplest data collaborations like CRM, specifically to not only to learn the behavior of the customer, but actually to prove to the business why marketing is such an important bit of the business itself.
Oh my goodness, I feel like that's a whole session in itself, isn't it? The kind of proving marketing's value to the kind of more senior leadership. Gosh, yeah. I was actually just watching a session about that the other day and a little bit about how kind of sometimes CFOs can get into CEO positions and how challenging that can sometimes be for the marketing teams. So yeah, like you say, proving the value is just so, so important, and putting numbers against it is just, yeah, so valuable. So, talking a little bit about your session then, Yana, at Technology for Marketing this year. It's called AI-powered data collaboration, how brands work with retailers without losing control. What are brands most at risk of losing control of, would you say?
So in this case, we are talking about the power control over the data itself, that will be nothing to leverage against the relationship with your retailer, channel partner, or brand itself. So obviously, once you're holding to the data, you're a sole owner. And in this specific case, we're expanding our relationship. And I think this is something that brands and retailers want to bring a bit of the power shift. in this specific case. We're not only talking about like retailers has the whole power, we're talking about the collaboration itself. We're talking that we are bringing from both sides different perspective and views on the client in order in the end to bring the transparency, to bring the incremental sales for both of the parties. And this is what we are trying to find. We are trying to find the ways in the legal field as well, how we can manage the first party data itself. As we know, each customer is a unique entity, but in the data collaboration, it's never as one person only. We're always talking about the segments, and this is the beauty of it. It is a new way of collaboration, completely compliant with the GDPR and all of the legal regulations, which brings the huge benefit for all of the parties. And not only for the brand and retailer, we're talking about the partnership with three sides of it. We're also talking about our customer.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you touched on it a little bit earlier as well. So that kind of, I guess, that personalization piece a little bit. So, and I think it's quite a big topic at the moment in terms of where there's quite a fine line. But how can brands use retailer data without making customers feel watched and getting almost too personal?
So obviously, as I mentioned before, we're not talking about the personalization on one person level. So it's not going to be Alyssia or it's going to be Yana. To who I've been talking to. So obviously I will not receive the email or in the creative like, Yana, you need to buy this product. We are talking about understanding of the customer and its interest. And based on those interests and that portfolio, perhaps we can see the patterns of the customer, what kind of social media they're using, and we can put those customers in different buckets, in different segments. So we're talking about the customers, for example, somebody who's excited about the social media, they are super excited about creating the content creators, the influencers, or the UGC creators, and we can put them in one bucket and show them specific features of our products. And then we can also have a different bucket for somebody who's excited about the gaming and sports and watch football in different streams. And there's going to be a different call message and it's going to be a different creative. So in this perspective, we are talking about the right segmentation for the right product and how those segments can receive a personalized message or creative.
Obviously, it sounds like this has been really successful for you guys. But obviously, when that success starts showing, you want to start scaling things. So what kind of gets harder when you start scaling data collaboration across multiple retailers, different markets, all that kind of stuff? What's the challenge there?
So definitely we talked about personalization a lot. And with the retailers, we still need to mention this part because when you're talking to different retailers or operators or whoever your partners are, you need to have a personalized approach. And for each partner, you might have a different use case on what audience you can provide, what kind of data is available, what problem are we trying to solve, and what's going to be the benefit for the retailer. So those use cases will be absolutely different for different retailers, and they will be different based on the market, whether it's Spain or Italy or maybe Nordics. You obviously will have a different approach for those countries. And in this case, when you're trying to scale up, you need to understand one simple thing. You will still need to go down deeper to the retailer level and to learn your partners perfectly. In this case, it takes a lot of time to actually adjust the different use cases and provide this level of details for each of them. I think this
Right.
is actually the challenge which a lot of marketers will face because we are trying to move too fast. But in reality, we need to go as deep as possible to build the right case and to sell it. It's like a pitch itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically kind of really understanding the retailer's audience so you can kind of adapt your message accordingly. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
you would need to promote your customers from the way your channel partner or your retailer doesn't have a vision of.
Yeah. Okay. And obviously the Marmite topic of the year, as my sales director calls it, AI. Where Where is AI genuinely useful in this space, and where do you think it's kind of overhyped?
So AI itself is reduces the time for any work stream which you can even imagine, whether it's creative or it's work with analytical data. In the data collaboration, me personally leveraging AI for the expansion of the audience.
Mhm.
Because when we are using the segments, we're trying to be as specific as possible in order to have detailed view on the customers. So it obviously it's not a huge one. It's not possible to run the campaign for 100,000 customers. It's too small. It's going to be too expensive. And this is where AI, in my case, is stepping in. We are expanding the audience and trying to find as much customers as possible, similar to the segment which we selected at the beginning of the path. Where I think AI is still not possible to replace, we are talking about the strategies, we are talking about the pitching of the use cases and partnerships, and obviously the post-campaign analysis, even though we still have a vision with AI on deeper analysis and different suggestions, it's up to the marketers and up to the people, it's human intelligence itself, to shape it in the narrative which will be understandable by the partners, senior stakeholders, and the business itself. So definitely AI is not ready to replace us yet.
Absolutely. And I definitely find that, that relationship building, I guess, with the retailers as well, and that communication piece. I always find that if I receive an email that's very, or any kind of messaging that's very much seems like it's written by AI or come from an AI, there is a slight kind of part of me that's a bit kind of like, oh, it feels like the effort's not there because everyone kind of writes like that now.
Mhm.
So I bet that's probably a little bit of a challenge as well.
That's true. That's true. Even though we are leveraging AI for the creatives and the content, this is still the input, the prompt itself is coming from the human intelligence. So even in this case, I think marketers should actually verify deeply all of the content that is going live there because there
Yeah.
can be so many mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this is more kind of again about your session at Ecommerce
Uh,
Expo. So why should senior marketers and CRM leaders come to your session at Ecommerce Expo this year?
So in my session, we're going to talk not about the marketing itself, but we're going to talk about the collaborations and how these partnerships can actually benefit the business in general. Marketing right now, and specifically about the data collaboration, is becoming less and less about the creatives and exposure. It's becoming as the coin which we're using to bring partners in collaboration. And this is where somebody who's leveraging this coin, somebody who's leveraging these data partnerships can actually upscale their business and hold this thought and actually compete on a different level with the other brands who they're considering their competitors, obviously. Because the sooner you start building the partnership, the more power you will have in those relationships with the retailers and obviously if you're building those relationships in a perfect level, where else can you where else actually your competitors step in? There will be no space for them at all.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then finally, Yana, I've got some fun little kind of quick fire questions for you to round off the session. Um, so what's one work habit that you're trying to break at the moment?
I'm trying to simplify everything as much as possible, whether it's a presentations or pitches. The less words, the better.
Nice. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm so like visual. I need that. Like, yeah. If you were pitching to me anyway. Um, are you a inbox zero kind of person or inbox chaos kind of person?
I prefer controlled chaos. With many people involved, I believe it's the best approach.
Yeah, lovely. Do you prefer a perfect plan or a fast test and learn?
Test and learn. Just
Nice.
it's easier and less expensive.
Yeah. And I guess within your role as well, I guess that's so important as well. Um, what's your most used phrase in meetings at the moment?
It's either why we are doing this or what problem we are trying to solve. So it's always about the reason.
Nice. What's one business word you'd happily ban?
I use it a lot, so I need to work actually on myself, but it's a synergy. And I'm trying to replace it with a partnership or collaboration. I think this one is more relevant.
Love. And finally, what's the best piece of career advice you've ever received?
I would definitely recommend to take any opportunity presented. Just say yes to everything career driven and see where it goes.
Yeah, love that. Love that. I feel like that's a nice place to end as well, Yana.
A good
Amazing.
one.
Thank you so much for joining me, Yana. So as I say, Yana will be joining us at Technology for Marketing, which is obviously co-located with Ecommerce Expo. The event is on the 23rd and 24th of September this year. And finally, just want to say a massive thank you to Yana.
Thank you so much for having me today, Well, and I hope it was useful.
Thank you so much. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.